Hey, everybody, welcome back to the final episode of this episode 6 of episode 3, or we've
Part
been
six.
drinking. Part 6, we've been drinking. But we're going to wrap up this third episode of Trash. If you've watched the previous one, good for you. We've got Tryp back with us as our guest reviewer. Alex and Pips and I and Tryp, we're all getting pretty loaded. This is usually how it goes. These second episodes, when we film it, get a little bit more emotional towards the end. I promise I'm probably going to rage a little bit. But we all refilled our drinks. So, what's everybody imbibing? I've got 2 bottles of wine open, and I'm mixing between or alternating between the two.
Jesus, this dark.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's
Finished the
They're
Lining
both.
Kugels here, moved on to the Blue Moons. So having a
and
good
That
evening.
is.
I'm still going straight bourbon.
And I
Trip,
am I am still going with my Kahlua and Coke, and Pips was right. It is only 10%. However,
you said
I s-
7.
he said 7. He was close. I'll give him that. I'm
Okay.
I'm
I'm too
drunk
drunk.
and
I'm
I'm
too
drunk.
drunk to remember what I said, so I'll just accept credit.
Okay, yeah,
So, so
you always do. So hold on. But
I've had
when
a
I
bottle and a half equivalent, and I can still remember that. You guys are fucking lightweights. Like,
well,
move
I
up to
Yeah,
Canada
had
where
yeah,
your
yeah.
beer is
Let
at
the
like
record
3%.
show. Let the record show we're all like weights.
I was going to say mispronouncing like lightweights.
well,
Uh,
I started with probably my bottle of Kahlua being 3/4 full after I made this next drink. There's not even enough left in the bottle for a shot. So, yeah, this will probably
There
get
you go.
bad.
But if
Yeah,
you're
Solve the
but
cutting it with a
problem.
lot of Coke, this is fuck all, right?
yeah,
Solve
no,
the
I'm
problem.
I'm not, which is the problem. But
Right.
I did want to say, because I forgot to say in the last one, that thank you for you guys having me back, and I like being here with my 3 favorite white cloaks.
Yay.
oh, thank you.
We
Yeah,
we love
I'm still
we
gonna
love
say
having
that you
Trip
need to do
on.
shots of tequila.
No, no,
So
it is not going to happen.
this is what I'm teasing, because I am a tease. But I think when we ultimately get to the 8th episode of this fucking show, we're probably gonna have to cut episodes like way the fuck down, like split that into like 8 or 16, or like every scene deserves its own episode.
It's gonna be
And
cinema sins.
maybe we do a recap with kind of all of our favorites. So maybe we bring Trip back for that. It's going to be several months from now. Um, but let's get her on tequila then.
No.
Sounds good. Approved.
Yeah,
No.
the power of peer pressure. Anyways, um, we had a really shitty episode that we or really shitty part of an episode that we just got finished. We've still got a lot of shit to get through. We are going to be a lot more emotional, but this is basically from the cairn of Gaul all the way to the end, with all the hilarity and crap in between. I say we get to it, unless someone's got something to say about this pile of rocks.
I do actually. We saw several shots from above the body. Where did they
Mm-hmm.
find these like evenly sized broken up rocks?
Maybe they used the shovel that they didn't have and they just hacked it out of the cliff face.
That's all I got is like look at the smooth dirt all around them, but they found just oh look how small that
What?
pile is.
What?
There is
That
no body. There's no body under those rocks.
Well, it's clearly established in like episode 5 that these people have no idea how to dig a grave, let alone like build a cairn. But the fuck is it?
Ah.
And neither of them look dirty from having just either dug half a grave or hauled some rocks somewhere. So
Also, may your soul find water. Like, damn it, like, how does? Okay, sure, yeah, that sounds
may you find
vaguely.
water and
That
shade,
sounds
or
vaguely Aiel, but like, how is Tom? Why is Tom an expert on Aiel shit? I just
well, gleeman can actually go into the waste along with peddlers and
But
tinkers. Although
Tom's never gone into the waste.
that's yeah. what we know, but this is Show Tom, right? He doesn't even have a fucking mustache.
That's true. It's yeah.
It's probably what he was doing when he wasn't in the Two Rivers.
Water and shade. Find water and shade. There you go.
Are you?
Finally,
Are
we
you
get
really Tom
introductions.
Maryland?
No,
Well,
he doesn't have a
arguably Matt
mustache.
Cawthon.
Tom doesn't have a mustache. Matt kind of does. And now this is so fucking awful. And they so it's like, are you gonna give me
Damn
my
it!
money back?
You were right.
He-
I recalled this as he gave him the money back, but nope. Matt went from being the most incompetent thief in Two Rivers to being the most competent thief. Fish.
Well, yeah, and
Is-
once again, where would he have learned those skills? You know, in
Is-
comparison to the book, I know we've kind of beat that horse to death,
Well,
but still, it's just
in addition to being a master of the old tongue, he also has very delicate fingers.
Clearly.
well, okay, delicate fingers would not be for the woman's pleasure, okay?
quick hands.
Not in, the
All
script
right,
that
everybody.
was
Trip likes it
written.
rough. Established.
Well, not
All
in the.
right.
Oh my god.
Moving on. Moving on. We're walking.
Hoof bang.
No.
That's all I'll say.
Yeah, and you
He
want
did give it back to
tequila?
him.
Oh my god.
He
There you go.
did-
Don't
he
let me
did
find
give
you
him-
hanging a cage.
He did give him the purse back.
Well, where'd the other purse come
No,
from? Wait, now I'm confused.
No.
Go back
Do I
and
need to
look at
rewind?
it.
Do I need to rewind?
Look at Matt's bathrobe here, and then look at the bathrobe of the person holding the purse.
Huh?
It's
The
it's-
bathrobe versus the duster. Which
Yep.
one's going? Okay.
Well, yeah,
Now
because
you-
Tom's
Jang-
reaching
Jang-
into
Pause.
the.
See,
He's already got it.
No, that's a
Bathrobe.
bathrobe.
That's
Matt's
Matt.
bathrobe.
That's Matt.
yeah, Matt's bathrobe is holding the purse.
Yeah, because he stole them from Tom. When they came in and shook hands, Matt stole them from Tom.
Are you serious? God,
Yes.
you're right. Jesus Christ, God,
That's what we were
save
just
us
talking
all.
about. That's his gentle
Keep-
fingers.
Oh my
Keep
God.
up here.
Alex is more drunk than Dane.
That's not possible.
He did say you denied me the opportunity. It makes it almost sound like he would have, but I don't know why you would have. I don't know why you would have after you like disapprovingly let the dude loot a corpse instead of maybe giving it to him so that he doesn't have to loot the corpse. But yeah, whatever.
This entire thing just feels so bizarre and unearned. Like, why does Tom have any kind of like positive feelings towards Matt at all? Matt has been just an absolute dickhole since arriving in town, and Tom's just like, "Yep, you're my boy now, Matt." Like, ugh.
It's because, as we'll learn later, it's because of Owen,
Oh God.
who kills
And-
himself in weirdly graphic form.
And here we get, as
Ooh.
Tom's leaving, you get guitar
God.
music and fucking spurs jangling.
Okay,
Okay.
can the Ironwood thing? Dane,
gonna
maybe
go
you
get
have
my-
something about this.
I'm going to go get my copy of The Eye of the World
Okay.
for a little bit later because I think it's appropriate for this. So give me a brief minute. Don't
All
go
right, so
too far
Dane's-
ahead.
Okay.
I'm going to go get primary sources. Okay.
Yeah, so Dane's gonna go get his
Yeah.
book while we sit here and discuss this. What are your guys' thoughts on this? My thinking of this, just thinking back about this scene again, I don't rewatch them, my liver can't take it. Was that why would this like shitty inn have an ironwood door that 3 men couldn't break down? Like,
Well,
what is this?
and-
Is this the village bank? Like what? What are we supposed to believe? Why would you invest the amount of money into putting an ironwood door on what looks to be a shack?
well, and then even if the door is ironwood, all right, sure, that stops you from breaking through the physical door, but aren't the hinges
Yes,
kind
and
of
everything else.
important there.
Exactly.
A
that
lot.
was kind of my point. That, like, he's locked into a shack with a strong door. So
Yeah, Aspiring Dark One in the chat makes an excellent point as well. Like, the door is not that thick. Like, when they show it, like, it is very clearly just a regular door.
no, but it's ironwood.
Yeah.
You don't know. You don't know how good that is. That's the highest level of wood.
Yeah, it's basically adamantium, I'm sure.
Also,
Yeah.
3 men your size. She says 3 men your size. He's not really that big, so that's sort of like 3 average men, I guess.
No one can hear a
Also,
thing outside. Why? Are the windows magic?
yes.
I'm
Again,
back.
I was gonna say the same thing. Yeah, because an ironwood door muffles all the sound, right? Like, nope. That's you still have the windows, you still have the rest of the shitty ass hut.
Well, and can't you, if you know the door is ironwood, why not try to break through one of the windows or
Or yeah,
Let's leave
somewhere
aside.
else? I
she
mean,
she
Let's
literally
leave aside.
opened a window to look outside, like
Ironwood
30
is
seconds before
lifted.
this.
Ironwood is lifted from A Song of Ice and Fire. I'm pretty sure Ironwood is never mentioned in Wheel of Time, like at all.
Jesus.
That would be interesting. Hey, where I guess it was Matt that has his whole, single PDF of the entire works. I don't know, maybe we'll have to control F. Anybody, when you're watching this in the comments, just post down whether or not it's actually from Wheel of Time.
I've got it all in digital copy, so I can control F. I've
Here we
spent so
go.
much money
We're
on this
about to see
series.
it. Where is she
Okay.
looking? So she opened a window. She's looking through an open pane in the window, but no
Yeah,
one
I
can hear
know.
them.
Because sound doesn't propagate through
Come
poker and
on.
air.
You're just gonna hurt your shoulder. And then come on, there's the shaky cam cueing in to something's happening. She sees something's happening, takes no action to intervene.
I like how she put the
she,
sword down.
she's doing the opposite of stopping him from doing what she doesn't want.
okay,
He
so quick insert here. So I did a quick I did
Thanks
a
for not
quick
saying self before that.
well, I'm not a tree,
do a
okay?
quick self insert for us, Trip.
Yep, no tequila. So I did a quick search on Ironwood and Wheel of Time. Now, the Watt fandom does list Ironwood as a tree. It
I feel
doesn't
like
really
When
reference anything, but
I feel like
what is the citation?
I feel like I remembered an ironwood strong box. I think
ooh, is that what they
that
put
is
Rand in?
that is like the only thing that even comes to mind with
Are you sure
ironwood.
it's not iron and wood? Because the first thing that comes up when I say Ironwood Wheel of Time is Dana from the fucking Wheel of Time wiki. Who's this fucking bitch?
That's not evidence. That's just Google being woke. All right, we're not going to get to the bottom of this. Like I said, comment down below. Tell us what ironwood is or where
I'm
it's
making notes.
used.
I'm gonna go look it up, and I'll comment on my own comment.
Dane's making
Oh,
notes.
you know what, Dane? Maybe that's what's going on with your screenshot for the,
Uh,
thumbnail.
I love
Ironwood? You don't want to see that.
I love I love how he just like comically falls on the ground and then scurries off. Damn it.
All right, wait. So
Let's,
we
let's
know
see.
from later that this is actually a significant moment
You
because
mean in
this
the
is full
actual books?
spoilers and full
Yeah.
reflection, but I feel like I'm allowed to speak about this now. But this is Rand's
Or
first
forever
moment
hold your
of
peace.
channeling.
In
So
the show,
in the show,
yes.
okay.
In
Um,
theory, because they
in
they
th
never had the dialogue of Bella not needing to be right. They never had that in
and
episode
they
two.
never had the spray, and they never had Howl Goad.
Yes.
But
So I think
Now,
if we've seen Logain channel, why don't we see Rand channel?
I'm trying to think
Because
of
the
Rand's
rules of the
you're doing a
universe
fake
are
out.
entirely random, Trip.
the rules are made up and the points don't count. Um, so I'm trying to think of the post clarity in episode 7 where we see the montage of him like being the
Mm-hmm.
dragon. and I think we see the ironwood door, we see the Trolloc in the ways, and that's
Fucking hard.
it.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
And you see the Matchim Shin tell him that as a mean girl that he's the
Mean Girl
dragon.
Shin. Yep. All right.
Anyway, so
Let's see him start his frickin'
no, so I brought up so this is one of my favorite parts of the Eye of the World, and this is why I really hate everyone who says that the Eye of the World is not the strongest Wheel of Time book because I think it is, if not the strongest, it's in the top three because the amount of world
it's good.
building and
Yeah.
foreshadowing that he does, because there are more little, how you want to properly do an Easter egg, or you properly want to do something that you rediscover on a second, third, fourth, 20th reading. This is how you do it in the Eye of the World, and it's mind-boggling the amount of forethought that Robert Jordan put through and the consistency that he was able to deliver in subsequent books. It's on a different level, and this is why people appreciate it. But what I actually really loved about it was completely blowing by kind of all these clues that Rand was channeling on my first read. Even though um, it gets established later, like if you have good reading comprehension, you should kind of be able to clue into this. But it's so great, and this is why people reread this, is they'll they'll like read up on, well, what is channeling sickness and how does it manifest and what was it, and then they'll go back and try and find those little tidbits as to, well, when was the first time that Rand channeled. There might even be an allusion, I think there is actually later on in the book, where Moraine explicitly states that her first clue was that Bella was not tired and that she should have known who Bella was carrying, rather than anything else, because she chalked that up to Egwene channeling for the first time.
Well,
Anyways, neither here nor there.
instance number one of Moraine being smarter than Moron.
Oh no, it's like instance number 17. Like there's a ton of instances of Moraine being smarter. But what's so great about it is you get all the info that you need to establish this within the text itself. And so if you reference back to it, you can apply context to a terrible fucking scene like this, right? Because we didn't see Rand concerned about Egwene having to ride Bella, who might not have been the fastest horse, and then being chased from the two rivers,
Well, we
from
also
Emond's
didn't
Field with
see
the
Bella.
Drakkar.
We also didn't see Bella as a shaggy brown, short-legged mare or pony
Yeah,
versus all of the other horses.
fucking big dick stallion like you, man, right? And was that Alex snorting or was that Tryp?
That was me, because
All right,
then we could get into the whole gelding
all right, all right.
situation, but no.
So
This
Hey,
scene
this
stop
is
trying to
how
actually.
assume my gender.
this is how Moraine describes the first instance of channeling from the Eye of the World. There was something you wanted more than anything else in the world, something you needed, and you got it. A branch suddenly falling where you could pull yourself out of a pond instead of drowning. A friend or a pet getting well when everyone thought they would die. You felt nothing special at the time, but a week or 10 days later, you had your first reaction to touching the true source. I'll just pause there for a moment. So, Rand, right now, is getting something that he wanted more than anything else in the world. And it's getting away from this Tumblr chick. And Tryp, you're telling me that she's a fucking 5?
I was gonna have to ask. You've had another drink. Where is she now, Dane?
Oh, God.
She's a fucking, like, point .1.
Dane, you're making me sound like you with my whining and my, oh, God.
Oh my god. Okay,
Uh-huh, exactly.
sorry. I'll
All right,
stop that.
you guys ready for the Benny Hill montage here?
I'm not. This scene is actually like fairly significant for me
Let's
because
go through it first and then Benny Hill afterwards, but that's going to be cut in post, right?
If there's time, we'll see. I'll say that I'll cut it in post, and you guys will make fun of me when I don't.
All right,
I
I
mean
have a
this
really
scene.
quick question because I know Alex is going to have a lot to say, right? So, really quick question. When does Matt learn to use a quarterstaff or gain his ability for use with the quarterstaff back in Emmons Field, or because he gets the memories
Yeah,
when he's
and Emmons Field
healed?
is his
So
dad.
it's a
His
bit
dad,
ambiguous because he doesn't wield the quarterstaff until he does in The Dragon Reborn.
yeah, but he
Um,
talks about how his dad wins the quarterstaff every year, except for the
mhm.
odd year where Tam sometimes wins, but mostly his dad
Yep.
wins. So it seems to be strongly implied that he learned the quarterstaff from his dad
He
All
did,
right,
but then
so
the difficulty is basically saying, why didn't he bring a quarterstaff with him through the first two books?
because he brought a bow, which is also a
Yeah.
strongly, that makes sense to me because sure, he learned the quarterstaff from his dad. Great. So his dad is the best in the village with the quarterstaff. That doesn't mean
And
Matt is the
and
best in the village. He probably
I
still is
always
better with
felt,
a bow than a
honestly,
quarterstaff.
in the Glad and Gowan scene, I honestly felt his luck was running hot in
Yes.
that fight. So
I but my
neither here nor there.
so my point and why I wanted to clarify that a little bit is I the way I took it is that he at the very least knew how to use a quarterstaff, regardless
Hmm.
of maybe how good he was at this point. So during this next
Resisting making a
scene,
joke.
during this ne- during this next scene coming up, the chase scene, I'm thinking to myself the whole time, why is Matt not grabbing whatever? There's what? There's wooden wheelbarrows. There's all sorts of wooden instruments propped up all over the place. So why isn't he just grabbing one of those and using it as a quarterstaff if they're worried about the sword? So just that's my 2 cents, and now Alex can take over.
He can flip that fucking bed and throw it at Dana.
Yeah, you make a phenomenal point, and the conclusion that I think we can draw from this, plus the some of the new Gowan casting rumors, I think can
God.
put a might put a nail in the coffin of the Matt Quarterstaff versus the twin or the Prince's scene, which R.I.P. to another great scene. Um, this sequence right here was actually like significant to me in that this is the one that broke me. Like, this is the one that I realized, nope, there is no fixing this. This is legitimately, we are going to get a 2 of 10 adaptation of The Wheel of Time. Like, there's no saving this from here on out. Like, I, if you made the decision to cut the lightning from this show, whoever is running this, it just can't do it. And at that point, you know, there is no more, significant establishment of power trope than calling down lightning. Like that is the like ultimate flex in like the fantasy genre. We have an entire superhero based on that flex and that power in Thor.
You have
And they
Zeus, the
yeah, and
god of god, like the king of the gods of ancient Greece.
yeah, and they
I
and
think
they
I
they
think you're
took
I
it
think
away
you're
from
onto it, yeah.
range.
Yeah, it's one thing to gender swap all the dark friends, but when they took away Rand's kind of like inaugural moment of power, yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and I mean this goes back to, and I'd still probably make the argument that Tarwin's Gap is the more significant moment, but this was the moment that I
Well,
realized we're not not only are we not establishing Rand's abilities
they
relative
gave
to the world.
Rando lightning and they gave all the fucking lightning to the five randos.
I
Yeah,
do want to
Well,
say
three
before we
randos
before we
plus.
go on and play this silly scene, this just reminded me saying that gender swap all the dark friends here, but
No, there
uh
was a female dark
she
friend.
so
Early Skeen,
no, no, no.
right? She was
I'm
good.
not yeah, sure, fine, whatever.
Okay.
But the one where he breaks out with the lightning were two guys. But anyway, um the point though is that Raginor making his like woke feminist show made every single villain a person of color. So you have you have Tumblr
exceptionally
Dark
accurate.
Friends,
Yeah,
you have Tumblr Dark Friends, you have freaking
Even Valda.
Valda, you have Thane, you have literally I mean
But
Ishamael
Balsamon
is
is
a
from
is a
fucking
is a Middle
Iran.
Eastern guy. Like literally every single one. Oh my goodness. It's just so good.
Well, this is subversive squared.
Imagine being so woke
Squared.
you come back around and are just racist again.
Legitimately, I think it happened. I
At
mean, I
least Star Wars
legitimately
had an
think
old
that's
white
what
guy.
happened. Is they were like, well, we need to get more people of color into this show, so just everybody that isn't our two main characters, and I say main characters facetiously, referring to Moraine and Rand, needs to be,
Because it's
diverse.
Moraine and
I
Egwene.
like that you had to actually explain who the main characters are. That's a sign of what we're dealing with.
Fuck this show.
Yeah.
All right,
All
you
right,
guys ready?
Let's
Yeah.
get this
There's
disaster over
all
with.
kinds of shit to.
I like how
First time channeling.
Here we go. Bam,
Wanted
gone.
something more than he ever want. We're gonna have to do plenty of pauses here, so we'll do the Benny Hill stuff kind of cut in afterwards.
I just like
'Cause
how two adult men are getting caught up to by a woman.
This
Well,
is
and
this
what's
30
what's
seconds of
with
cringe. But go ahead,
what's
Tryp.
with the she has my sword run? If she had a gun, sure. But
Standing on them.
can you really?
Hey,
There's two of them. Oh my
do
god.
you fucking remember when we saw this in the fucking trailer? And they're like, "Oh,
I need to
cool!
pause
Like
on the scene.
they're running." And of course, they didn't show Dana chasing after them in the trailer. All they showed them was like they're running for their lives, and everyone's like, "Oh, this must be Whitebridge," and they're running from a fade. Nope, they're running from fucking
Come
Tumblr.
on. There.
Oh my god.
Dang it, the resolution on this thing.
That's fine. No one wants to see this in high res. She's a fucking one. All right.
Oh man.
Coming up here, I have an issue with the
There's a
blocking
horse.
in this. No, I got an issue here. Okay, wait, stop. All right. What we just saw was Rand and Matt being chased, and you saw down the way they came, and Dana was there,
Yes.
and they bugged off to our left, their right.
Yep.
You agree? All right.
Yes.
Do the next 3 seconds. So Dana came
She's
to
about
the
to cut
same
left.
spot,
Yep.
and it's like a T junction, and she
Yep.
decides to go to our right, her left. So if I'm plotting this out visually
Yes.
from above, I'm
Yes.
drawing a line from the top down, and then I'm drawing a line across. And I'm saying R and M are going this way with an arrow, and I'm saying Dana the Dark Friend,
Oh
DD,
god.
is going that way. Okay, they're going in opposite directions. Am I completely smashed or am I making sense?
So here's the only thing I'll say is that we don't know how long they ran around. So let's assume that that road runs into a T intersection with one house, the shitty little shanty that we see to our right. They cut right to go around the building. She cuts left to go around the building, and then she shows up on our right, and they show up on our left. That would be the way that would work.
So
However,
wait, you're
that's
saying
not
this
what we
road
saw
looks
them
like
do.
from above, it's basically a road one way, and then it's like a circle around said shanty house that you just invented.
I'm
yeah,
saying that
instead
that's
of
the
thinking
world that they gave us. That's
yeah,
the world that they gave us. That's not the world that would ever actually exist in a town. I'm just saying that's the world that they gave us.
yeah, don't think of it as a
Well,
T, think of it as a lollipop.
Yeah, it's a traffic circle.
It's a fucking upside down lollipop. They ran one way, and then Dana's like, ha ha ha, I'll catch them this way. Because
This is
even
just
well,
right
yet
now,
another example of
this is
Americans
three
not
second
understanding how traffic circles work.
3 seconds
well,
later, you already see Dana's sword there in the bottom right. Like
It's
she's
this is
Yeah, because
actually there is a
she was
very
10 seconds
specific
behind them, and then managed to get ahead of them because of the shortcut.
so this is a very specific uh cinematography thing that you're told when you're uh directing a show that you should never do. It's called reversing 180. So the thing that Dana does where she runs to her left and then immediately appears on the right is a massive sin because it does exactly what you see here, and that it brings up the exact question that you guys are asking now of what the fuck are the logistics of this scene? Like, where is
yeah.
everybody? Because your brain, your you know psychologically your brain follows, people are moving. But if they show somebody go one direction and immediately appear the other direction, it breaks immersion. So, like, that is a very specific thing that you're not supposed to do. And had they interspaced it with a couple more shots of each of them running and gotten some sort of natural turn, you would have been able to get away with it. You would have been able to say, like, no, they just got lost in a maze. But because they didn't do that, it's jarring to the eye when you see it. You see
Especially
it
on a
in,
rewatch, despite my level of inebriation.
well,
It's especially jarring to Dane's eye because she's the one, apparently.
yeah. Well, they did this in
Stop
Kenobi
with
too, with the scene with Obi-Wan running away from Vader. And it's if you watch that scene, it's worse there because it's like just this. It's the same shot where she sort of appears from the bottom right. But yeah, this is hideous, and whoever directed this is an amateur joke.
Wayne Yep.
Yep.
Oh, well,
Sorry,
Shots
that is
fired.
Rings of power,
Shots fired.
everybody.
that is
Rings of
Okay.
power.
that I
Wait,
remember that because that's actually one of the reasons that this actual sequence is one of the reasons that I said Yip was worse than Yuta.
Nutty Corn Crunch, Baby Green.
Oh, yeah. Now, did you guys ever consider that perhaps she ran to the windmill water well and did, like a little up and over and got on the other side of them?
What are you saying? She grabbed the windmill on like one side and then like flipped around like a cool superhero move?
Yeah,
And then came like for a
exactly.
power landing?
Yeah, just let her carry it.
Really,
Let
You know
it
what?
carry
really
her.
difficult on the knees. Really hard on the knees.
I'm honestly just waiting for your alt to basically make that argument on fucking our watch show trip. We'll see you coming.
I just want to point out here we go. First time we see that Moraine was actually wrong. Not 4 Taviran, 5 Taviran.
Oh, fuck me.
Yeah, that was my thing earlier. It's like, how is she dreaming of Nynaeve? Because I don't think even Rand, Matt, or Perrin are thinking about Nynaeve at the time we see the dreams. Why would they?
I mean, they thought
I don't
Nynaeve
think
was
we've had
dead.
a collective dream. Yeah, exactly. Nynaeve is dead at this point. So the 5 would be like, what are you talking about? Because I think it's only 4 of them that leave Emmons Field. So this is the first time you see like a hint to 5. Of course, we as the viewer all know that, and this is a good insight. Like, I don't think anyone's pointed that out yet. Yeah, it's at this point, Rand, Matt, Perrin, and Egwene should be thinking it's the 4 of them, and none of them pick up on who's the 5th.
It's because they probably just default assumed that it's Moraine.
I think Space Oyster makes an excellent point in the chat when he says, it's more in character that Moraine is actually wrong about this, about the 4 versus 5, because she's not right about anything else. Like, so
Consistency
Very good
from
point.
Ragnar is that Moraine is an idiot every time.
Okay, we got this scene coming up here, or a shit ton of exposition, but I want to break it down kind of.
but only one of
When
you
it's set.
matters.
Oh,
right,
yeah.
But
But-
only
Look at that-
one
look at
of
that
you
face.
matters. But
Dana is
only one of you
establishing there's
matters.
5 dragon
Alright.
candidates, and she's
Before
gonna
you go
capture
too far
as
down
many-
this road, Dane, give
Alright.
us a read. 1 to 10. Where's Dana?
In this shot right here,
Wow.
if you got this photo, you put it on Tinder, how many matches do you think you get? In like a city of 1 million people, I say you get 7.
Well, they might like her sword.
I feel like you underestimate the horniness of strange dudes on the
I was
internet.
gonna say
okay.
every guy swipes
I'm not.
right on
I'm not
everything.
counting everyone that basically swipes right all the time on like everything. They don't count. They're just basically seeing for kind of what hits. But how many conversations do you? Maybe we can do an experiment of this. Like, I'll take a screenshot of this
I
chick.
apologize.
I'll make a Tinder account. And I'll
to
see
everyone
how
for
many.
bringing this up.
Yes,
Anyway,
it's all your fault. And I actually have
There's a
one.
rational way to analyze this, and all I'm saying is she's a fucking 1.
All right.
Either
So
way.
now I have a comment before Dane starts on his rant. Okay. Now, I do see the possible need for this right here because there's really no other way possibly for them to get this information across. But do we have the typical, okay, I need to hold you here, or I need to kill you, or I need to do whatever, evil villain exposition before actually taking action?
There's
So
a ton of
when
it
you
here.
when you say, "Do we have the I'm going to hold you here" thing, I just want everyone to remember the fact that all they have to do right now is turn around and keep running away from her like they were 2 seconds ago.
Or split up. Which one is she going to chase? What's she going to do?
They literally aren't trapped.
I also
Like,
like when
okay,
you consider how big they showed us this town is. Like, there's like 6 buildings in this town. How are they having long, drawn out chase sequences in alleyways?
because they walked past them or ran past them several times.
I find it
They were
funny
running in a circle.
that tracks
Fucking
based on
lollipop.
what we know about how smart
They were
Matt and
they were
Rand are in
chasing
this
each other in
show.
a lollipop that whole time, and then when Dana decided to go the other way, she was putting an end to it. That's what that was.
Watch. Dana was standing sort of like in the alleyway, just watching them run around, and she finally was like, "They're too
I
tired
gotta
to run
stop
away from me
chasing them.
now." Yeah,
They'll just come to me.
they're too tired to run away from me after 18 laps. I'll just step out, and then they'll have to stop.
I love that we have the chase sequence editing of fucking Tom and Jerry. Like, class work,
It's
guys.
worse. Just wait for Benny Hill. All right,
Uh,
let's play through this and pay. I'm gonna limit my comments as the dialogue comes through because I got something to say about it kind of once it's already done. So doesn't matter who I am. What matters is who I'm gonna be. Let's remember that because everyone remembers Ishamael.
But
That guy
Do
sounds
they?
awesome. No, it's like everyone from fishermen to queens. Everyone knows. And it's going to be me that brings you to him this time. And now she's introducing that the Aes Sedai want to kill the dragon. Yeah, I could see that.
fair.
The wheel keeps turning and people keep hurting. Every man who comes to this shite town has a story, yada, yada, yada. And the dragon can save us. Like, okay, sob stories here and there. But the dragon can change all that, break the wheel. Can we pause here for a sec?
yep.
All right. Within her own monologuing,
Yep.
she's gone from being
You
motivated
sly
to
bastards!
being
You got me
remembered.
monologuing.
Yeah, but she's motivated by being remembered, right? Everyone remembers Ishamael because he brought the dragon to the Dark One the last time. Never
Not
mind that that's
true.
not canon, but that's where this fucking show is going. And then she's exclaiming, "Who would have thought it would be me from all the dark friends from fishermen to queens that brings you this time?" So she's probably giddy with the thought of, all right, I did my ultimate dark friend job and I will be remembered. And then a sentence later,
He's ending the
she's all
world.
about breaking the wheel and ending fucking time and ruining basically existence for everyone,
Yeah,
i.e.,
Ishamael wanted non-existence. He wanted silence. She's
yeah,
like, I want to be remembered
in one
by the
instance,
end.
but then she's also basically saying, but what I also want is for the wheel of time to end and for time to
Yes.
end
Yes.
and an end to all existence. So she went from being a glory fame hog in one sentence to turning into a nihilist in the next sentence. And what I have to wonder is how can these fucking writers actually string two words together? Because they must be the most retarded people on earth.
Yeah.
And
Um,
she's at point 0.5 in this shot.
inconsistent character motivations in this show. Nah, couldn't be. They're way too good for that. Yeah, I like
It's the
how they.
same fucking it's the same fucking monologue.
Right. I
Like
like
who is checking the script?
No one.
Was it the Clarkson
nobody.
twins in this one? Mailing it in.
I like how they talk about how.
Masana was checking the script.
Oh God. I like how they talk about
Misara.
how only one matters. Like, guys, can you even get your villains' motivations right? Like, it's very much not the case as we've been told by by the Trollocs trying to capture Nynaeve rather than kill her, and then
We don't know that.
Having
That
Fane.
Trolloc was looking for a tasty snack. He just got distracted by a less tasty snack.
yeah, Fane tells us that like, guys, pick a fucking motivation and stick with it.
That would require them to have had what is commonly referred to as sort of like a producer or a showrunner. I think is what they normally call that. And I don't think they had one of those for this show. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Do they have someone?
Yeah.
Well, aren't they also establishing that Taverin are not at all important for the remainder of the show?
We
They're
only
not
get
establishing what Taverin are.
they mention it once and then they like leave it until
It was
the
a throwaway line.
8th episode.
Yeah, because
Yes,
Taverin just
rumors.
translates to main character in the old tongue.
Ren,
We're
we're
gonna
gonna
leave
leave
now.
now.
He finally remembered he can turn around and walk away.
All right. Coming up,
So
I have another observation. It's probably, I think, either this line. Are you?
Yes, we are.
yes,
We're turning
No, no,
around to
no,
the
no,
reaper.
no. And then
she has not. I have
I
not.
called, here. Does she
He,
have a fucking iPhone? That's what I want to know.
Yes.
How, how do you call a fade? Or the eyeless or what? How do you fucking do that? I called one of them. When did she do that?
Before she locked him in the room,
But how? Like,
she had better cell service back at the inn than here in the
did
alley.
she
So
go
she
into
called.
Teleran Riyadh or something like how would she do any of this? Like, what's the mechanism? Like, you can read through the books and being like, how do dark friends actually communicate with each other and do shit? And it's like, sorry, you've got like Forsaken in dreams with dark friends who fail and get burned up and whatnot. But it's not like the dark friend has the agency in order to relay information. They need to actually be summoned to something in Teleran Riyadh.
You know how we've
Did she
talked
have a
about
fucking
how
flare and shoot it up, or I want to know, how did Dana, in the span that we saw her from being the bartender when these people walked into town to now, how did she initiate communication with a fade other than with an iPhone?
I think
because she, like Harry Potter, she has a tattoo somewhere, and I know that'll make Dane groan.
Oh
Okay,
my
that she can
fucking
just
god. Don't even fucking
that
start.
she can like rub, and it does its little wakes up thing, and now your fate has been notified.
It's probably a fucking Mickey Mouse with a lawnmower over a muff.
look, all I want to say is that we've talked before about how this show was clearly written by people who live their entire lives in big cities and don't understand small towns or what happens outside of big cities. And this is also it's written by people who live their entire lives post sort of email, the internet, cell phones, all of that stuff,
They don't
or
even
at
think about it.
like they yeah. There's literally no concept of like yeah, it used to be
But
like
but it's
you
not
just
just the writer, it's the script checker, it's the story editor, it's the lore expert. All of them looked at this fucking line and said, "Yeah, okay, that works." Which means they're all fucking retarded.
yes.
All of them. This is not
Why are you
retarded
saying
squared or
why are
cubed.
you
This
saying
is
that like it's
retard.
a surprise?
This is a retard tesseract. That's what this fucking show is, and I'm coining that phrase. This is 4 levels of retardation. We're into additional dimensions that are beyond fucking human consciousness. This is so stupid that I cannot even comprehend how fucking stupid this is. And I've
Yep.
got pretty good comprehension. I've fucking drank like 2 bottles of wine already, and I'm able to make sense about this so people can follow me, and these idiots cannot, right? I called one of them. This is fucking fourth dimension tesseract idiocy squared quadrupled shit. Fuck me. I'm gonna drink some more.
Okay, so to maybe distract from that particular point a little bit, what I want to know is, Pips, if you back up just a split second, when did she be when did she become a fucking three musketeer with her little sword switch?
So that was actually going to be my point before about why Rand, like why they couldn't get away, because she's a blade master. I mean, do you see? She's carrying a heron marked blade.
Yeah,
She
but does
carries
a
it better
blade?
and handles it better than fucking Rand ever does, or Lan for that matter.
But what? I mean, I don't think a blade master is not quite that, whatever you want to call it, demonstrative.
That's the closest we're ever going to see to cat crossing the courtyard.
God. Well, and then as
Fuck
she
you, Pips. Fuck you and your fucking hooves.
and
that hurts.
as she continues, all I can see when she's like motioning with the sword and whipping it around and everything is she's, some kind of a professor with one of those long pointers.
That's true.
Yeah, anyways.
I just want to point out that this is like, I don't know, the fifth or sixth like stationary vertical looking down drone shot that we've used in this episode. Like, did the cinematography director like get a new toy? Like, how, Alex, this seems to be a really shitty way to frame this scene, like this shot. Look how small she looks compared to the two of them. Why would you do this shot?
I have no idea. Like the only time that I would see this ever making sense,
She's half their size. She's a fucking hobbit.
yeah, she is, and it's especially worse because if you look down, it's more centered on her, and the further you are from the center of the
It's
shot,
centered
the
on that
taller
little
you
sand
look.
circle.
Yeah,
It's
Yeah,
centered on that little
that
sand
puddle.
circle, which was the launch pad for the drone.
yeah. So I mean, if they had even shifted this so that it was like over the two of them, she would look bigger. Also, if her pants were lighter, she would look bigger.
It just blends
But
it.
yeah, but it blends in, so she literally looks like a torso.
That looks bigger than Rand. Fuck this fucking show.
Yeah,
I mean that's just par for the course. This show consistently has no idea how to use like forced perspective at all.
yeah. I mean, the only reason you ever do this top-down shot is if you are like trying to set the scene for something that is very like location specific. Like if you're like trying to do something logistically. And this show at no point has ever even attempted to do some sort of like positional storytelling. So I don't even know why it's in the repertoire. Like it doesn't even, it should never even be included because as we've established with this chase scene and as we established with Land teleporting later, people's locations are entirely irrelevant. People are standing exactly where the script tells them to stand every time. So
It makes sense from one perspective, which is that you can't money launder on drones if you don't at least buy one drone. It's just like the wig
That's
budget.
your second greatest insight on this whole fucking show.
They had to
Pips.
use the white dudes in dreads to prove that they bought wigs so that they could launder all the money into the wig budget.
as much as I find Dana terrible, like just an amalgamation of everything wrong with this television show, I
Wait,
still
did you
think
say Dane or Dana?
Dana.
Oh, thank God.
I still think the white guy with the dreadlocks is my least favorite character in the show.
All right.
Oh yes, let's threaten you from 8 feet away with a sword.
They could run
Alrighty
away.
then. Oh my god.
The eyeless.
What is the eyeless? A fade that I called with my fucking iPhone 13.
Okay, you can't outrun a fade. They should be thinking. We've outrun at least 3 fades,
and they continue to for the next fucking month.
Yeah, I was gonna say we're on week 5 of outrunning a fade. Are you sure that's?
No, we're on like day 9 because we went through this and like what they're establishing as far as the time lapse is it's completely fucked up as it was compared to the books, where the phases of the moon were constantly referenced and there were. The amount of the anal retentive attention to detail that Robert Jordan put into the timeline the book. It's actually quite amazing when you go through it and you see the timelines line up amongst all the characters that he introduced. It's
Yeah,
if you try and replicate that as a writer, you just freaking
later books
it's
are hard to get
mind-boggling.
that sense because
Yeah.
of the way that the timelines between some of the books in the end don't actually run concurrently with each other. But I generally agree with you. If you look at a map of the world and what he tells you like the distances are, and then
Hmm.
like travel distances between places are actually
Yeah.
really accurate, and he actually gives you like pace of march for armies and stuff like that is actually very historically accurate for armies marching on foot
Well, he's a
from
Citadel
present
graduate, right?
from present day back. And yeah, I mean, so not only did he actually fight in war, but he was a graduate of a military academy. He probably had to spend a fair number of miles in some boots, and this show is clearly made by people who have not.
Yeah, they have iPhones, and you can't
Well,
outrun a fade.
Dane,
Oh,
I actually have a possible answer for
Damn
your
it. I
question.
missed the pause. I
no,
missed the
we got to
pause.
go back at least 1 second because this is going to be our other thumbnail. Being like, I still don't know what I'm going to call this one, but this look coming up right here. Oh,
Come on, I get it. I don't know when it's happening.
it's going to happen soon.
Ah! There we go.
Perfect.
How is she
That's
grunting?
grunt. Grunt.
Grunt. Remember from
It's pretty
Peter
hot right
Peter
now. I don't know if
Jackson's
this is like
Peter
up to an 8,
Jackson's
but
Lord of the Rings, and there's this whole like sort of apocryphal story about how Saruman gets stabbed by Wormwood on the top of the tower, and
hmm.
Peter's telling him like how to act it out, and he's actually like, no, that's not actually what a man being stabbed in the back
Yeah,
into the lungs would sound
Christopher
like.
Lee explains like
Yes.
that's not how it sounds like, and then
This,
Peter
I just want to
Jackson
point
has to
out,
remember. Wait a second, Christopher Lee was in the original SAS and fought in World War II behind enemy lines.
yeah,
Maybe
I
he
just want
knows
to
what
point
he's
out
talking about, and I shouldn't correct him.
this person getting stabbed in the throat, grunts is the wrong fucking sounds.
Shout out to Tom Maryland for being strong enough to throw a knife through somebody's spinal cord.
Also true. And also, we should take note. This is the second time they've used the like inexplicably just stabbed from behind with a thrown knife like while they're talking.
Who's the first? I'm sorry,
Uh,
I've been drunk.
other Tom in episode 1.
Nice. Although
The,
that didn't go through his throat, that went
It
right
was
through his fucking
right
chest.
right
yeah.
through his chest, about 2 inches below where Dane is. So the Trolloc threw a little low.
But it was a big meat cleaver type of
Yeah, I think that
boar
might have
shoulder
yeah,
axe
it
kind
might have
of.
been an axe, the spike on an axe, yeah. But the point is that apparently the only way to kill people is randomly from behind.
Nice.
So are you happy now, Dane? She's,
That
been
she's dead?
viciously killed. Yes.
Not vicious.
Well, I don't know. A knife through the throat isn't very nice.
That looks like it severed her spine. I bet she didn't even feel it.
Hmm. She got what she deserved. Fuck her. She was a 1.
She's a dark friend.
Oh, yeah, that too.
You're paralyzed.
I know. I just said she got her spine severed, and then she picks like she's still holding a sword and lifts it up. Fuck.
This show sucks so much.
Okay, here you
All
go.
right.
Here again, the vertical shot, and again, she's a literal hobbit.
Yeah, no, it's if we were going to contextualize this, I know they do a whole bunch of shit with like frame of reference, but okay, I'm going to go on Google really quick.
I was gonna
And
say,
what was it?
somebody
What was?
comment down below. Let us know for
No,
her
no, I'm gonna.
IMDb.
What was the name of this actress? Is like Izuka?
I don't know. Dana's the character name. You'll be able to find it from that Wheel of Time. Dana.
I'm gonna see if I can find her height. If
he's
I could
he's
fucking type, I think I just typed in Izuka Hechtesfit. Okay.
she's a dark friend. Ah, Tom delivering exposition. Ah,
Izuka Hoyle.
See what? Maybe she contacted a Drakkar. Maybe there's one that just floats around because not like we know they exist, but
I feel like you can't talk to a Drakkar. I think if she had talked to a Drakkar, she would have had her soul sucked out.
well, do we know whether they have riders or not? Because he was
It's
doing it
Wait,
after
wait,
Lord of the
She's a
Rings.
Drakkar rider.
Well, we don't know,
This
even in the
show, this
book.
show would fucking do that.
Is it wrong that I would actually be very surprised if we don't get a Drakkar rider at some point?
Yeah, we might get that Eowyn Lord of the Rings scene.
Okay, so wait, we've got Matt, who this whole episode is being, I want to go back home to the two rivers, which is west. Tom's going east, and now Matt's saying east. East is good. So keeping up with the consistent inconsistency of the characters,
Yep.
Matt's just like, fuck my sisters.
Yep, he's got his money. He's got his money. He could go back to the Two Rivers.
He's got a gem, he's got a stone dog toy, and he's gonna go follow Tom because
Tom just killed somebody in front of him. Seems like a good dude.
all right. Izuka Hoyle height.
Are we about to see the blood dragon thing? I think we do, right?
It's not a dragon fang. This actually leaks into the
The puddle. Yeah, okay.
the canopy, but it's a puddle shot, and then it morphs into the canopy of the trees. So it morphs into the next shot. So you never see a dragon's fang, and it's just,
What the
Okay.
Isn't that beautifully done?
fuck?
I said before I was talking about how this show
Holy
reminds
fucking
me
shit!
of literal Spaceballs.
They're saying Izuka Hoyle, Dana the Dark Friend, was 5'8".
She does not look it.
No, she's a fidget.
That sounds like high school football stats. She's
That's
5'8" on paper.
She's 5'8", like fucking Daniel Henney is 6 inches taller than her.
But what I was gonna say though,
Maybe she is, but it's like she's 4'8", and fucking Daniel Henney is like 5'6".
this is just the Spaceballs nice resolve scene. Like it's just this is the only scene in the entire show that they've ever tried to do this. They worked so hard for this.
It's bizarre.
They worked so fucking hard for that.
It is jarringly bad. Like, why?
Oh man. Oh, there we go. Aldeeb made an appearance. Not dead.
Finally, we get the other two horses, and we're gonna have to look back. I think maybe on a rewatch of the rewatch. But I noticed that the fetlocks on Mandarb have been a lot hairier than they've been on previous episodes. Right? Look at those hooves; they're fucking bushy as shit.
I mean, Mandar, he's been out in the woods. Nobody's been clipping his sort of, nails.
So Nynaeve is complaining they've been riding for hours, but coming up,
Lan was there in minutes of riding.
Yeah. Just to warn you guys, let's look at the position of the Aes Sedai on those bluffs, and then the scene coming up where we see the bluffs from a different angle, but we don't see the Aes Sedai.
Also, why would they just be inexplicably standing out there? Like they have
On the bluffs,
presumably soldiers with them, and if not, there are greens with warders. Like,
but we know what those are like. Like it's fucking Maxim and it's fucking Steppen. All right, so here we've got the granola dreadlock Birkenstock Aes Sedai right there that we see up on the bluff. The next Aes Sedai we see, and this looks like the one of the reds. No, it's one of the reds, but it's the creepy looking one with the skinny black hair.
No, that looked like a blonde to me.
So anyway, in this shot here, you've got 3 Aes Sedai. Two green on the left, and you've got a red on the right.
Well, there's 4. There's one on the road, which that one's probably Leandrin.
That's Leandrin.
Yeah.
But the red who's on the right, I think, is the of the 5 reds that you see from the prologue. And let's not go back to that, please. But like they had an Asian, they had one with the hijab, they had a Chinese, or no wait, they had Leandrin, they had this weird looking one, and I'm pretty sure it's the weirdo here with the skinny black hair with the bun that you see in a later shot riding behind Logain. That's neither here nor there. The big issue, although it's fucking hell, this is the most minor issue when you look at all the other crap about this. But in like 5 seconds, this shot, you're gonna see it from a different angle, and you're gonna wonder where the fuck did those Aes Sedai go? And then
Maybe
you're gonna
Lan's
think,
not the only one who can teleport.
then you're gonna wonder how the fuck did they get up there with horses? All right, let's roll forward and
teleportation.
traveling. In this world, it's called traveling. Wait.
No, in the Wheel of Time, it's called traveling. In the Wheel of Prime,
Question when you pause right there. Moraine was sitting in front of Lan.
Yep.
Is that how you ride with someone who's sick? Do they sit in front of you, or do they sit behind you and kind of clutch onto you?
I think you'd actually have to have them sit in front of you if they're like borderline conscious, because they may not be able to hold on to you, right? But you are
that's
correct.
fair.
So I think in the top left we see the bluff that had the 2 Aes Sedai on it, and now there's none. The top right, I'm not sure this shot actually shows enough to show where that other one was, but
Not this one, but I think there's a subsequent shot, which is
we'll
kind of the. Well,
another sweet drone shot. Gotta get that drone money in.
Maybe it was that shot that you mentioned. Does anyone else think that, like, if Dana the Dark Friend was a 1, that Leandrin's like a 0?
Landron's a good-looking lady when she's not doing this. But...
No, look at those fucking cheekbones.
They really played that up for like a strange reason. Like,
what the
I agree with
fuck is
I
up
agree
with
with
that?
Alex.
She doesn't
I agree with Alex.
even look human.
I agree with Alex that like that's not how she just looks normally. They used makeup to like accentuate, kind of high pronounced cheeks, square jaw, that sort of thing.
But why?
'Cause we already talked about that. They actively attempt to make the people less attractive.
Well, plus she's a red. She's very aggressive. She's got a lot of very male traits, I guess you would say. So perhaps they're also trying to tie into that.
The toxic masculinity is strong with this one.
God.
Something about the Dragon Reborn.
Embedded in her cheekbones.
Something about the Dragon Reborn.
Okay, so I think you're right. The bluff shot, it's not that super good quality when we look at it here, but those 3 Aes Sedai where they're supposed to be, they're fucking missing. And fuck this fucking scene, because right now we get to see Steppen for the first fucking time. This guy is going to dominate the next 2 fucking episodes. Fuck him. And fuck Maxim, because he's going to dominate the next fucking season. These are the worst 2 fucking characters they ever fucking invented. Fuck this show. I fucking hope these people get bail fired.
Little known, little appreciated fact. Right behind Maxim is a female tower guard.
Walking.
Yes.
That's pretty big.
But also these soldiers, I don't think we actually see them in the fight that comes up next. But
let's keep it out here. You had 3 people walking. You had a couple horses. You got Alana and you've got Karenni guarding Logain on the thing. You've got the same creepy-haired red who is in the background distance, kind of on a horse suddenly showing up behind. That's why I mentioned it. But yeah.
Let's take note. Why don't we see the shield? Because that's exactly what I was going to ask is, who the hell is shielding Logain right here?
Well, you only see
we're seeing this from
when
Lan's
they thought that it was
perspective.
Necessary and when they wanted to allocate the CGI budget to it. It's
Yeah, and as we'll get into in the next episode, but linking, they just fucking destroyed it for plot purposes in the next episode.
Okay, so Pips, go back to the closing shot.
Oh no.
Just the closing. I don't want to look at a black screen, all right? Right there.
I'll pause. Stop. I'll pause on the close
Right, okay. So hold on. So now, Dane. All right, Dane.
That's the money shot right there.
That is. So what I want to know, Dane, because I had to listen to you rate Dana through the whole fucking segment of the episode.
Yeah, and she
Okay.
oscillated between 5 and 0, and she
Uh-huh.
ended up at 0.5. I'll stand by
Whatever.
that.
Now I want you to rate Logain.
Wait. Trip, shouldn't
0.
you have to rate Logain?
Oh, I will.
What are you saying? This is an
Oh,
ugly
well,
fucking man.
no, it's not.
Wait,
See, I knew we
yeah,
would
he
have
is.
no, he's not.
Yeah, he is.
Alvaro
Okay,
Motre is not
You
a
we're
bad
say
not
looking
gonna
guy.
agree on anything.
Trip. You saying this guy buys you a drink at a fucking bar and you basically drink that shit without expecting it to be like mostly roofie and like
Okay.
wink
Okay,
at him?
well that's
Trip. This guy shows up with like a disheveled, also bathrobe, like a red bathrobe. It's a little fancier than
Obviously from
that.
the Two Rivers
And
because you don't
yes,
know where people are from except from how they
and
dress.
he's giving you that look with that hair and beard. You're telling me you don't think he's homeless?
no. I'm telling you, if okay. So to clarify,
He's
I'm
he's
not.
the newest member of the Derelict campaign.
God. Okay, to
You love us
clarify, yeah, regretfully sometimes I do.
all the
God.
time.
um if he showed up looking like that, well, yeah, okay, then I'm gonna be looking for a heron mark sword. Okay. But I'm talking generally speaking, not
What,
this particular shot, but we do
to
know
shave him? To shave him or to shave him of a head?
yeah, like your little pause there, Dane. Um, no, I just think the actor, that particular character, Logain, is actually a very attractive man, and he looks a lot better in the next episode now, doesn't he? When we get
No.
to see the intro and all that.
Eh,
Not when he's
There,
locked in the cage.
I'm
Whatever.
I'm perfectly willing to say that I think that almost all of the actors and actresses in this show, in real life and in the show in favorable lighting when the plot decides to have them be attractive, most of them are above average attractiveness. It's just that the show, for whatever reason, wants you to not see them that way.
Well, the reason
Right.
is you have to think that Egwene is the most attractive person, and that just isn't happening with all these fucking film tricks.
well, Egwene gets wrecked in this same methodology. The
True.
This guy right here is an actor named Alvaro Motre, um,
Mm-hmm.
and there is sort of a backstory to his casting and an attempt to capture the Indian market, and it's sort of a long spiel, but
Right? They were trying to market this show in India, or
yes,
Yeah,
you're talking.
Amazon Prime sees India as a very large growth opportunity for subscribers. It's a large population with not a whole lot of Amazon sort of footprint, but they're actively pushing really hard to get into the Indian market. The thing that they don't understand is like look at Bollywood and look at Wheel of Time and tell me you think that the like Indian audience wants what the Wheel of Time is selling.
yeah, which is exactly the problem that they have. Is this actor is huge in India because of a role in a show called The Professor. And so
Interesting.
they especially
Keep
picked
going.
this
Keep
guy
going.
because
This is
they
interesting.
wanted him as, and it's also a reason that they focus some of the advertising on him, and why he has a much bigger presence in the season is because he was used sort of as a marketing tool in India. Unfortunately, Pip's touched.
Fuck. You're saying we got all this fucking Logain bullshit because they tried to push the show in India?
Oh
Yes.
yeah, it has nothing to do with them saying that they thought that Logain was done dirty and not given enough, and that they thought that the story made more sense if
We
you had the
just were
Logain.
able to
No.
cast a famous
All
Bollywood type of actor
yes,
for this role,
yes,
and that's why we
yes.
outsized.
Logain is the exact same as Steppen. He's a representation or not Steppen, Maxim and the others. Like it's a representation story arc.
Well, I
But
will say
it is even funnier though
All right, go ahead,
because
Alex.
um, the Indian audience market makes the fucking Chinese market look like a community theater trip in San Francisco. The Indian market is so fucking not down with woke shit in their entertainment that it is
I mean,
laughable.
think of the only Indian people you can think of from the Discord, right? We got a couple good Indian dudes in the Discord, and think of the stuff they post.
Like, like
The
seriously,
most based shit ever.
everybody listening to this
Dragon Lord
should go and
Kinslayer?
watch.
We just say
Everybody,
DOK.
DLK.
everybody watching this should go watch RRR. It is a phenomenal Indian action movie, and it is the cure for the common bitch-made American superhero movie. And it is, there is no tolerance for weak male characters in India. And
Oh, it is fucking awesome. I've
it,
gotten halfway through it, Alex. Thank you for recommending that.
yeah,
Probably
so,
because
so
India is a country with like a borderline actual like hot war with another country, and like actually two, like between China and Pakistan. The whole like let's
We
maybe
might have
not
to go
water
do
down
this
our
tomorrow.
masculinity.
Yeah,
We might need
exactly.
some of that toxic masculinity.
yeah, so the amount that India rejected this show versus the amount that Amazon thought they were going to get for it is unbelievably funny. Like, just it was a disaster in their marketing and their actual numbers, and people
Good.
were not
Good.
happy about it.
Thank fucking God.
Well, I do want to say, I think he nailed the look in that particular shot pretty well.
No.
I'm gonna honestly
Looking,
say that in terms of like good casting, acting, whatever, I actually think he does a good job at Logain.
Oh, he's
Um,
a good
I
actor.
I I think the only thing that ruins it is his bullshit sort of pleading. If he had said the first half of his speech to the Amerlin and they had cut the like whining, pleading sort of bitch, whatever stuff afterwards, it would have been awesome, right?
Yep.
Like actually strong, like actually a good character. Uh, and I get it, like I will admit I don't remember all of the details on the Lorraine or Logain description and how he's supposed to look, other than that he's a
I do.
big guy. He's a big guy is all you kind of that I sort of remember. But in terms of like, all right, he's just playing the character well. Yeah, I think it's fine. He plays the hatred of the Reds and the Aes
I
Sedai pretty strong, and in general, one of the better actors in the
I
show. I
Yeah,
think.
he does
I
smoldering
don't even
intensity
think
well.
Sen Bui played it well. That's how much I'll give this fucking show. I think Sen Bui might have been annoying old man, kind of at the
Yeah.
top echelon there, but I think he did a fucking awful job. Everybody else, I think they deliberately went out of their way to cast the wrong people and direct them the wrong way, precisely to shit in my mouth.
All right,
yes,
everybody.
Dane,
Dane
just for
perceives the
you.
entire show as a personal and premeditated insult.
Man.
Yes.
God. There's a
Uh,
short for you. Okay, so one more thing, and it's not in this episode, damn it, but I won't be able to remark on this when it comes back. So when
Unless you wanted to. We'll have you back, Trip. Come on.
yeah, we'll have you back.
no, but
It's
not
We
fine.
love you.
not not for the episode this is going to happen in. Okay? Because I know you've already got people lined up. So
All
when
right, say your piece.
Egwene and Perrin are with the Tinkers, right?
They're with
I
them
bel
now.
Okay, right, but I believe in the books, it's very apparent that they're actually in a steading. Because the wolves won't enter, Elias won't enter.
That's after the Tinkers.
No,
That's
Elias.
they leave the Tinkers and they go on. They have the whole scene with the Ravens, and then they
Yeah.
they shelter in an old steading, which gets the Ravens to leave them
Oh,
And yeah.
alone.
okay.
And then
And
the Whitecoats show up, and then Perrin
Elias
kills
and the
Whitecoats.
wolves will go with them, but the ravens
The
won't.
Ravens won't. Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay,
because dark
well,
friends or creatures
And
of the Dark One won't go into
and
a
that's the
steading unless
place of
really
safety,
pressed.
which this whole fucking episode is named after, which they don't fucking even reference one iota.
Hey, they did
well,
say an
and
ogre setting. Dana said it. She tossed that line out.
A place of
But
safety.
they're not going. We're
That
not
was
going
Okay,
to.
now
that was
she's a
the that
woman.
was the Easter egg for you.
Oh
Sorry,
God.
Tryp, go ahead.
So, but we're not going to see it in the show if I remember right, because I did skip a couple of episodes. But don't Egwene and Perrin travel with the Tinkers, right? And then they get captured or whatever,
Because they
or
were
run
seen twice.
away. Yeah, exactly. So we're never going to see that. And that just really bothered me because, of course, that's another missed chance to, number one, talk about Ogier mythology. And I don't know if it's Ogier, Ogier. Okay, I go with the hard G. Um,
Ogier's good.
I say Ogier.
okay. So we don't get to learn anything about that, or Egwene not being able to reach the source.
We
So
also
just
don't learn some of the world building about the dissolution of Hawkwing's
Hawkwind.
empire. Yeah,
It, the bigger thing about the setting and what I always loved from the Eye of the World is at the Queen's Blessing, when you have Loyal and you've got Moraine, and tangentially you've got Elida referenced and the Red Aja, was that whole thing about post breaking of the world, how
yes,
men who could channel fled to the steading.
and the
And
disagreement within the tower between the Reds and the
uh,
others.
it's a historical disagreement, but it's
Yeah,
kind of one of
yeah.
those things where they're like, okay, the men who went to the steading and therefore weren't able to channel, they didn't go mad. Eventually, they left because the addiction to the true source was so strong that they left um, after a while, and then they went nuts. So it's an open thing about was the breaking prolonged and therefore made worse, or would the entire universe or world have ended had they all gone mad at once?
Simultaneously, yeah.
It's
Yeah, I mean, as we've already established in this show, this
great
show
world
takes
building,
the
but
opinion that foreshadowing and world building is for losers.
I
So,
think that's where we end it, guys. World building is for losers. The end.
yeah. All right, guys. Anything else?
Trip. No, I just want to say, Trip, thanks for coming out. I hope you had fun. This was fun for us, and fuck this show.
Pretty
I
much.
always do, and fuck the show.
Awesome. Thanks, everybody. If you liked what you saw, like, comment, and subscribe. We appreciate the support.
And walk in the light.